Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Lazy Girl's Guide to Podcasting. I really need to come up with a new intro, I've decided, because I love doing the dynamic intro thing, but saying, hi, welcome to the Lazy Girl's Guide to Podcasting every single episode. I feel like, I don't know what, I just feel like I need to zhuzh it up somehow. If you have any ideas, let me know. But either way, it is great to have you here as ever. I'm Verity, host of the Lazy Girl's Guide to Podcasting, the podcast where we talk everything podcasting. It's very aptly named, isn't it? If you are new here, if you have come back again, it is great to have you here regardless. And for this episode, I don't think it's going to be a terribly long episode. I mean, I always say that kind of thing, don't I? I don't think it's going to be very long. And then 20 minutes later, I'm still chatting and I'm thinking, well, I've gone way over my 10-15 minute limit for these episodes. But what I want to do today is just very quickly answer the question of, do I need to produce weekly podcast episodes? To me, the answer is no. So there we go. Straight off. If you just wanted the one word answer to, do I need to produce weekly podcast episodes for my podcast? My answer is no. There you go. You can stop listening to the episode if you want. I'd love it if you continued. However, if you wanted to just stop listening to the episode, the answer is no. If you want the slightly longer answer, then here is my opinion on the answer to this question. Because I think sometimes in podcasting, we get really, really wrapped up on this idea that we have to produce weekly episodes and we always need to be on this content cycle. Now, I know that that's very rich coming from me. I try my absolute hardest to put out a new podcast episode every week, but that is more because I've just got so much to say about podcasting and so many episode ideas that I just want to keep going with the episode generation. It's something that I love. It's an amazing hobby. And so for me, I like to keep up with that schedule. But do you need to do the whole weekly gig? And I think the answer to that is just no. I mean, if we think about artists, for example, and when I say artists, I mean, think about musical artists. Do they put out a new song or a new album every single week? No, they will produce maybe once a year, once every couple of years, depending on who they are and what their content production is and how much they're in demand and all the rest of it. They'll put out a new album, maybe, I don't know, 10, 11 songs, maybe more, maybe they'll have the deluxe version as well. But you get my point. They're definitely not putting out a brand new song every single week. And you could argue, yeah, but Verity, come on, it's easier to put out a new podcast episode every week than it is for Taylor Swift, for example, to, go and get a whole song written and recorded and all those musicians and stuff. Yeah, no, I completely get that. But my point is that, a musical artist does not have to continually put out new music. They maybe put, like I said, an album out for 1 year and then they tour it for a couple of years and then they work on another or something. And it's the same with radio shows in terms of, yes, you've got your radio shows that are on every single day, every single week, what have you. However, you've also got your limited runs, don't you? Where you've got a show which maybe will only be on for like 6 weeks and then they take 6 weeks off and then they might come back for another however many weeks. And the point that I'm kind of making here is that I think that we can get very, very caught up in the world of podcasting with this idea that we have to put out a new show, or not a new show, sorry, God, can you imagine putting out a new show every week? Is that you need to put a new episode out every single week. And I guess what I'm here to tell you for this episode is put out the content that works for you. I was on LinkedIn recently, and I don't go on LinkedIn very much, but I saw from a creator who I hugely admire, and he was saying that if he was starting his podcast again, his content schedule would actually only be 2 episodes per month. So a bi-weekly episode. Bi-weekly? Yeah. Once every 2 weeks, basically, he'd be putting out a new episode. And he was saying that's because then he could put so much effort into really, really good production and then also a sustained period of time into promoting that episode as well. So I thought that was really, really interesting. And whilst I am going to continue with my weekly episode production, and hopefully I'm going to try and go every so often with 2 episodes in a week as well. But what I really want to say is don't feel the pressure that you have to put out a weekly episode if you either don't want to, or you don't feel that you have anything to talk about for that week, or maybe it just doesn't fit in with your lifestyle. You know, life happens at the end of the day, and that's absolutely fine. You know, or if you want to take a 6-week break, maybe for the summer, or a few weeks off for Christmas, and you haven't batch recorded, that's also fine. It's your show. Just keep promoting the episodes you've already got. I do that every so often. If I've maybe forgotten to create, you know, graphics or promotional materials for my latest episode, or I might suddenly think, oh, I really can't remember, did I promote this or did I do that? I'll just turn around and be like, hey, I haven't talked about episode 13 in a while, or episode 15, or, you know, I'll just promote some previous episode quite randomly, because, you know, why not? Your back catalogue's there. You still want people to listen to it. So there's me chatting away again. We've already hit 6 minutes, and I told you it wasn't going to be a long episode. But to round up, if you are asking yourself, do I need to produce weekly podcast episodes? My answer to that is no. You need to produce episodes that keep up with your lifestyle and that you can also keep up with, because there is nothing wrong with creating fewer episodes, producing fewer episodes, which are really top-notch quality, and continuing to promote those, versus having just tons and tons of quantity but no quality. So no, you do not need to produce new episodes every single week if you don't want to. If you want to take a break, if you want to take a break for a couple of months or what have you. I've taken a break now for my other podcast, the Confident CEO podcast, since 6 months now, actually, just looking at the calendar, 6 months. And do you know what? I still get very good numbers of downloads, despite the fact that I haven't produced a new episode for that podcast in 6 months now. And I don't actually promote it very much either. But that is still getting really good numbers of downloads. So no, you don't need to produce a new episode every single week to see success if you don't want to. So on that note, I am going to close off. If you have ideas about my opinion on producing new episodes weekly, make sure you send me a message over on Twitter or over on X @VeritySongOn. And otherwise, I will see you next time. Happy podcasting.